guys, let's talk today about a designer's most powerful tool. And it's the beginning of the year. We're still in the first month of the year. So this is the time to really dig into this one word that will help you create all of your actions, help you with your mindset, and help you down this path that if being a designer or maybe just an amazing creative. I have so many people listening to this podcast who are just crazy, amazing creatives, okay? So one of my goals is to help you take action. And do you know what that one powerful word is that will help you do that? Focus. It seems so simple, you guys. It always seems so simple, but it is just focus. When we focus on something, what happens? We become obsessed with it. Usually we're thinking about it all the time. Sometimes we're dreaming about it. And it tends to make us wake up in the morning excited to do the thing and take action. Now, sometimes our focus are on different things, right? And notice that if our focus is on something different, then it's hard to get to the thing where your big dream is or where your heart is, because we're like over here all scattered, okay? I think being scattered is actually one of the biggest roadblocks of someone who's trying to become a designer. If you're trying to become a designer and you can focus on what you want to design every day, you can focus in on what time of the day that you plan on doing your design work. You can focus in on when you're going to do your production. You're going to focus on the kind of artwork you're going to do. You can focus on the details. Guys, guess what? This is the one career, and I used to really be concerned about this. I tend to be, you know how there are people who are detail oriented and people who are big vision? Most people aren't both of those things. I actually am very big vision. Like, I like the big vision of things, but this is the one career where we have to have both. I tend to think I'm big vision, and then it's so funny. I said in my own mastermind group, well, I'm just not that detail oriented. And they were like, what? And I was like, well, I guess I do love all the details. Like, as a designer, I'm going to tell you, like, one of our things that we used to do in boot camp is a ladybug. I'm going to tell you exactly how you're going to build this oval and how to cut it in half, and then how to reflect it and how to make the wings, and then how to add, you know, the antenna. And I was like, okay, I guess I am detail oriented. And so this is the one thing that no one's going to tell you about being a designer, is that we have to have both. We have to be detail oriented, plus we have to have the big vision. And here's the crazy thing. It's not just the big vision on, you know, what we want our design career to be. We have to have the big vision on the design, right? If I know it's going to be a ladybug, am I going to be like, okay, it's going to be a ladybug and it's going to be on a grassy hill, or it's going to have heart? Like, you're kind of thinking about, like, how is it being used and what's the big vision for it, right? And then on the next level, it's like, what's the big vision for my shop or my manufacturer if I'm doing a fabric line for them? And then what's the next vision after that? What's my design career look like? How many shops am I going to be in? How many manufacturers am I going to design for? Okay. So we want to have the big vision of what all of that looks like. Okay. We have to have both. So it's a little crazy because we have to be both, and it makes it hard. And so that's why it is so hard to focus. That's why it's such an important word, because we have to be simultaneously able to dig into the details of what we're designing and how we're creating it, at the same time having a vision for what is the next level. Why does this matter in the scheme of things? This ladybug design is one tiny little piece of, like, the design work I'm doing tomorrow, and the design work I'm doing the day after that, and the design work I'm doing this week. How does it fit in the overall vision of how I am a designer, or how I'm perceived as a designer? Does that make sense? So that's why focus is such a big deal. And if we can focus on the little details of things, focus in on the projects and finishing the projects, it gets us to that big vision a little easier. So that's why focus is maybe not your one word of the year, but the one I want you to be thinking about. How can I focus this year? How can I do the thing that's going to get me to the big dream? Okay. We're here in our present selves and we can see our future selves. And we have to think, what are the steps to get to future self me? Okay? It almost always is focus. Which seems like such an easy word. It's also a little bit of a vague word, right? In that, we're trying to figure out how to focus, but I'm like, what does that really mean? All it means is you're going to decide what you're going to do and you're going to do it. And you're going to do it day after day after day after day because you have that big vision. And because you're focused on that big vision, all the steps leading up to that big vision, like every single little step, the ladybug, the bee, the wolf, I've got a heart behind me if you're in on YouTube with me instead of the podcast, like all the things you're designing somehow bring us to whatever the big vision is, whether it's financial success, whether it's our unique style, whether it's just feeling fulfilled, whether it's creating art, all of those steps in between, all that you're doing is making sure you're staying on the same path, right? And that's focus. We don't wander off the path, we stay on it. And by staying on it, we get to the end destination, which is what I really want for you. All right? All right, you guys, that's your one word today and the rest of the year. You're gonna focus. Focus on what you need to get done today, tomorrow, the next day. And I promise you that if you do that and you stay on that path, the path will lead you to where you want to go, okay? If you end up somewhere you did not plan on being and you don't like it, it's because your focus was off, right? So make sure you're focusing on the thing that you want to have happen because that's key and that's what's going to get you to where you need to go. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.